This is Comic Picks by the Glick. Good afternoon, good evening.
Whatever time it is for you.
Whatever time it is. I'm John Murphy.
And I'm your host, Jason Glick.
How you doing tonight?
I'm pretty good.
Cool. What do you got for us this time? Comic Picks by Mr. Glick.
Okay. Well, tonight I got a subject I hope is near and dear to the heart of any red-blooded guy with a Y chromosome, or well, all guys have Y chromosomes. So. But anyway,
be largely true.
Yeah, this time I'm talking about Conan. Conan, not Conan O'Brien, but Conan the Barbarian. Yeah. So because this week, what arrived this week in comic shops is the last volume of the first series of Dark Horse's new series of Conan comic books. Like this is what I'm talking about is The Hand of Nergal, an adaptation of one of Robert E. Howard's unfinished story fragments. And I figured, like, hey, you know what? Why don't I just use this as a jumping off point to talk about the Dark Horse's adaptations or new series of Conan comic books in general? Because, like, well, the series ran for like years and years under Marvel, which Dark Horse is also reprinting. What Dark Horse is trying to do right now is basically take all of Robert E. Howard's stories and just basically adapt them into one big, huge Conan chronology. Like, you're going to see Conan's, like, his lowly beginnings as a runt who came out from Samaria, all the way up to his status as king of Aquilonia.
Mm.
Yeah, and well, a lot of people were skeptical as whether or not the series could actually succeed. Original writer Kurt Busiek and artist Kerry Nord really proved them wrong. The first arc, The Frost Giant's Daughter, and other stories. Now Busiek, he's best known for doing a lot of having strong Silver Age influence, like from working with the superheroes in Astro City, Marvels, and Avengers. But it's like that. When I first heard that he was doing that, like his whole his Silver Age background, basically made me think that it could actually work because he's got this whole skill of writing good overwritten pulp dialogue. And Kerry Nord's the artist preview art I saw for it looked like he could really do a great barbarian style art, just like big action sequences where Conan's going through hundreds of enemies, chopping off guys' heads, beating the crap out of people, stuff like that. And once you know it, turned out to be pretty damn good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole Busiek Nord pair up lasted until volume 4. Like volume 2 was God and the Bull and other stories. 3 was The Tower of the Elephant and other stories. Volume 4 is The Hall of the Dead, where Busiek got a better offer from DC to write one of their big A-list series, which I'm not going to go into right now. But basically, Busiek passed off the torch with let's see, what's the correct word I'm looking for? Oh, basically, there's 3 issues of Mike Mignola fleshing out one of Robert E. Howard's other story fragments, The Hall of the Dead, which wasn't really that bad, but I mean, it's very Mignola-esque in the sense that you got Conan fight a bunch of gruesome creatures that go suck, and just all sorts of Lovecraftian dialogue stuff. I mean, it wouldn't. To be honest, you could have swapped out Hellboy and the story Conan with Hellboy, and the story wouldn't have been all that different. But then the other writer that took over from Busiek, Timothy Truman, really proved his chops in the following arcs, where basically had Conan take a bunch of hillbilly cannibal barbarians, and also the Rogues in the House storyline, and this final volume, The Hand of Nergal. So now that Truman and new artist Tomas Giorello are taking over the series in Conan of Samaria, mm-hmm. I feel the series is in very good hands.
Cool. And
really, it's if you like Conan over just really good manly type stories, it's these several volumes of the series are highly recommended to anyone. I mean, the art from Kerry Nord is great, and Tomas Giorello, well, he wasn't really well served by the coloring in the last volume. He's not the same as Nord in terms of style. The guy's got lots of chops in showing Conan beating the crap out of people, chopping off heads, killing demons, and slicing off tentacles of monsters. All sorts of fun stuff here. Now, really, it's the series was actually very successful with Dark Horse. So now it's in addition to reprinting the Marvel series, Dark Horse actually feels the effort to spin off the series into various miniseries and other side projects. So you got several different miniseries they've put out, and they've all been generally pretty good. I mean, you got Conan and the Jewels of Gwalior by P. Craig Russell, or Conan. I wish I could remember this, but it's not a bad story. So basically, he encounters a girl who's forced to pretend to be an oracle for this long dead god, and winds up get entangled in some monster action. Then you got Conan and the Demons of Kitai, where he basically goes over to Asia and fights a bunch of Asian-looking demons and stuff. Then you got Conan the Book of Thoth, which is basically the story of Conan's arch nemesis, Thoth Amon. And good lord, this is a bad story, because you got basically Thoth's rise basically shows him doing really lots of horrible, awful things to good people. So basically, if you're a horrible person who likes seeing bad things happen to good people, you'll like the story a whole lot. Yeah. Conan and the Songs of the Dead was the subsequent miniseries they pushed after that, which is by Joe Lansdale and Conan writer Tim Truman. Well, Truman did the art, 'cause he's a very capable artist as well. But while Lansdale and Truman have done some great work together with DC's Jonah Hex character, this one I didn't think was quite as good, because Lansdale, well, it's like he's got too modern a voice for Conan. Like, you just listen to you see the way Conan talks in this, and you think, that just might seem like the old typical barbarian, overwritten pulp dialogue stuff you expect from Conan. It's not that it's a bad story by any means, but it's just, I was kind of expecting
too much of a modern flair for it. Then
exactly,
yeah.
The others in the most recent miniseries, Conan the Midnight God, by Josh Dysart and illustrated by Will Conrad, is actually probably the best of the miniseries, because, well, you see, it shows when Conan has a midlife crisis, he doesn't mess around. Because after some emissaries from the land of Stygia cause the death of his unborn child, Conan figures, hey, you know what? It's time to take the fight to them, beat the crap out of them. Because, hey, you know what? He's been king for a while, and he's been dealing with all sorts of kingly administrative duties, and that's not what Conan's about. Conan's about going forth and attacking and killing people. Yeah, so basically, his midlife crisis involves him going to Stygia and killing this huge snake demon god that's about to bring about the end of the world. And hey, if that's not a way to take out your midlife crisis, then I don't know what is. Yeah. Another cool thing about the series is that while the original artist Kerry Nord basically said that he's not a book a month artist, he's not going to be able to cover the entire series from issue 1 to issue 50. It's so basically Dark Horse came up with a plan to accommodate him. That was called Born on the Battlefield. More on that in a second. That, however, it came time that Dark Horse actually needed to put out more fill-in issues. To give him more time to finish his stuff. And, well, wouldn't you know it, while filler is generally a bad term in just about any comic book series, the filler they put out for Conan turned out to be really goddamn good. And all the filler stuff was collected in Conan, the Bloodstained Crown, and other stories. In this volume, you get the story with Kurt Busiek and Eric Powell of the Goon fame, doing a story inspired by what Robert E. Howard's life might have been had he been a character in Conan's universe. You also get. Let me bring up the book right here and see what we got. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. You also got Busiek teaming with Timothy Truman for a two-parter detailing the interesting story. Well, one of the framing devices they've used for the series is basically the prince and his advisor, the Wazir. The prince finds Conan's tomb, basically wants to know more about him, and the Wazir really doesn't like Conan at all, but indulges this guy. This two-parter, Seeds of Empire and the Bloodstained Crown, basically talks about how the Wazir tries to fix the story to show that Conan was just he'd want to be king and rule the land at any cost, intelligence be damned. But the Wazir basically realizes there's more to this story and starts digging deeper to find out the whole truth of it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah, In the Tower of Terateth also gives you another story where Conan has to basically get to the top of a tower filled with huge demonic type creatures. all in competition against one of the characters they've originally created for this series, Janissa the Widowmaker. Basically, a female killer in the vein of Conan, only she's had a much rougher time of things. And it's some really good art by Raphael Conan. Sorry if I screwed up your name there, and then you got the final story, Helm, which basically tells you about the story of Conan's Helm, which was lost in the first story arc, and basically brings doom to everyone who decides to pick it up afterwards. And also wrapping up is Conan's favorite joke, which basically involves a guy getting impaled on his own spear. Because hey.
Yeah. It's like nothing's funnier than falling on your own sword.
Oh, yes. Yeah, especially when you threaten Conan to death afterward, prior to that. Yeah. Now, however, if I were to recommend one Conan storyline over all the others, it would be Born on the Battlefield. This is the storyline that Kurt Busiek worked on with Greg Ruth to give Kerry Nord time to finish this work on the regular series. Basically, this is Conan's origin story. This is what he was like as a kid growing up. And we see how it shows you how he got to be the Conan we know and love today. Because the storyline, the title "Born on the Battlefield" is perfectly appropriate. Because basically, his pregnant mother basically raised a spear and ran through the guy who was about to kill his dad. And as soon as she did that, she went into labor. So as soon as Conan, this is the story of Conan's life right there. I mean, it's like it shows you how. Obviously, like being born into a life of violence and chaos, basically like shapes his character, and it's really well done, especially with the art by Greg Ruth, who's got really, it's not like big on like strict detail, but like the impression he gives you for a lot of the images he creates is just like really beautiful. I mean, I wish we should see more Conan stuff by him, but the storyline has got lots of great stuff. I mean, like Conan take out on a bull, bidding lots of beautiful women, slicing the tendon of a kid who was trying to beat the crap out of him, and also helping lead the charge of like thousands of barbarians against the advent of civilized man into his land. And that's another thing about the series, because one of the things that they do a lot of talk about in the series about how Conan is just like he's a barbarian, but hey, he shoots straight with everyone. He's not civilized. He basically wears like a thong throughout the entire series. But like while civilized man will lie, cheat, and steal, Conan is like the kind of guy who will just like see through he's straight shooter. There is no lies or deceit, and usually it's him that winds up coming out on top for everything. Yeah. And really, like that's the thing that's carried on throughout all the series. And overall, it's like I said, any guy with a Y chromosome, or say any fan of Conan in general, is going to love this stuff.
How about people that have seen the movie? Would they with
Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, would they attach themselves? Be able to attach themselves based on that viewing alone?
Yeah, and I think so too, because I think
it still embodies the concept of what Conan is.
Yeah, I think so too, because his Schwarzenegger's immortal life in the series, like, Conan, what is great in life? To see your man beaten and driven before you, and hear the lamentations of his women. And that's also like a theme that's also carried through in the series as well. And like I said, overall, I'm looking forward to the first collection of the new series, Conan of Cimmeria, illustrated by Tim Truman and Tomas Giorello, or illustrated by Tomas Giorello, my bad. And like I said, I'm looking forward to that, and I'd definitely love to see Dark Horse put out enough series to complete their whole chronology of Conan's life. Yeah. So with that, all I can say is, hey, Conan, good reading. Ladies, though, it's like, well,
maybe not your cup of tea. That's what I was guessing.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. But hey, it's like
there's always one in the crowd. Yeah. Sure, why not?
Yeah. And on that note, it's a wrap for this week. Back with more interesting comics for later.
All right, we'll see you next time.